don't think there's a right or wrong answer. I think we're just trying to share our thoughts and ideas as to why we're thinking about even leaving. Are we putting this back on our old channel that we posted stuff on?
Sure.
From Hope?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi again. So a lot has happened since the last time we vlogged. We moved, and then we lived in Vancouver, and then we worked the corporate life, and then we learned a lot of things. But now we're
getting ready to sell everything and leave again for the Philippines.
Yeah. So we went from basically living in a countryside situation to like a very densely populated city, like obviously on the outskirts, but very close. That's where our work was located, was in the city. And now we're thinking about actually entirely leaving Canada. So we're from Vancouver, Canada. We previously lived in Hope, BC, which is the countryside here, about 2 hours out from the city, into the mountains. And now we're thinking about living all the way in the Philippines. And I think right now we're thinking about living in either, we're debating.
Bohol or Dumaguete.
Yeah, so it's either going to be Bohol or Dumaguete, which are just, I think, just smaller islands, a little bit safer. And I think the reason that we're doing this, is I'd say definitely cost of living, because Vancouver is ridiculous. What other things do you think that
I think it's like the quality of life that we will have there will be a lot better.
I agree, yeah. We feel like here, despite working a corporate job, which is probably one of the best jobs we could have got, otherwise it would have honestly just been something very standard. It's still hard to get by in life, and so we've come to realize that our skills are mostly digital and they can be done on the computer, and with things like Starlink opening up the world and stuff, we feel like we're not really bound to being in the city anymore, and this life doesn't really make a lot of sense for people like ourselves. And I know this doesn't pertain to everybody, but I definitely think for us, like, we don't have to pay these outlandish costs. And it's not to say there's no value in being here, because we do feel generally safe. That one's kind of iffy because
it feels like it's going down a little bit than it used to be.
We're recording this right after this whole the stabbing on the bus situation with the girl, and then also the Charlie Kirk situation. And honestly, it just feels very heavy and different, and to us, like, it just kind of almost reaffirms our idea that maybe leaving right now is a little bit better, even though Philippines obviously has its own set of things. It just feels like the value here is kind of depreciating, and we're concerned also for our child being brought up in this world, and we do have a kid, so that factors in somewhere for us as well. So yeah,
we also want to spend more time with her, because working corporate, one of us has to sacrifice all of our time, and we're used to doing everything together. And when we first came back 5 years ago, we actually just thought about coming back for a year. We were digital nomads before that. Yeah. And we just thought about coming back for a year, like just have like a bit of routine. And then we came back on December 2018. So then
was it 2018? 2019, I think.
December
right
2019?
Before COVID.
Yeah. So right before.
Yeah.
Basically, we got back, and 1 month after, the world shut down. And from there, we ended up having, like, we just went through a huge journey. And then obviously having Atlas, our daughter, kind of push the timeline even further back, and now we're 5 years after, and I think it's time now. Atlas is a little bit grown up, that she can handle herself on the road. It's like, and with everything happening, it just seems it's like the time to go. I
also feel like it's a fork in the road, because either we put her in school, which we don't feel very comfortable with, or we start hitting the road and trying to show her basically the school of life and the world, and kind of just learn as we go. And that's kind of always been our philosophy.
We're not very named her Atlas and
everything. We're not very like traditional school people, I would say. I don't think either of us, like, I definitely didn't finish school. I ended up getting my GED, and I don't think Tony did.
No.
Okay, okay. So we're not we're definitely like C students, honestly. But this is just what feels right for us at this time in life. We've done the digital nomad thing before. You can see that there's something called like geohacking, and it's basically like if you earn in USD or CAD or AUS or whatever, the point is your money goes a lot further when you live in countries like that. And so therefore it's almost as if you're living kind of wealthy, except like in another country. Yeah, I mean, you do miss out on a lot of things, like the weather, for example. Like right now, actually I'm a bit chilly. It's just
September.
Yeah, and so it's kind of getting chilly, but it's nice, you know. In Philippines it'd be pretty hot to bear the weather, so there's that. There's definitely pros here, and it's not to say everything's perfect. Family. Yeah, that's a huge sacrifice too, but at this point in our lives I think a lot of people are also kind of preoccupied in their own lives at this stage. Like we're in our early 30s, and so this is just kind of where you're creating families or a life, or you're working towards your own goals. You're pretty focused on yourself for the most part. A lot of people taking their own paths or journeys or whatever it may be in life, and so I think we've just come to the conclusion that this probably makes the most sense for us at this point in life.
Yeah.
And we're also hoping to probably not be as consumers as much, I'd say, because we've done a lot of buying things in the last little bit. Yeah. And I think we're kind of focused on maybe more experiences right now. It's not to say we haven't had any, but I think that we've lived in Vancouver for most of our lives. We both grew up here, and I think it's time that we want to just see a little bit more of the world, because it feels very mundane and monotonous and redundant, just doing the same thing and having the same general routine. And then things don't feel like the best value here, in my opinion. I think it feels like, someone has said it before in a comment section, but they said it's like you pay 5-star prices for 3-star hotel type thing. And I do kind of feel that way, even though there is certain values that are, you know, they matter, but I think that there's other ones that we're after right now in our lives.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, and I think overall over there we'll probably have a better quality of life. It's also a better situation, because if we want to go anywhere, we can go to Japan, Thailand,
right,
like everywhere else
that's
around
true.
us is much.
This is something we talked about a lot.
Yeah.
It feels like right now with like America being the way it is, and you know, I think it's on an uphill trajectory, but I don't know, and it seems scary there. So even visiting there for the value, it just doesn't feel like we're as welcome. I don't know, it just doesn't feel as normal. It's very overpriced as well, because our dollar doesn't go very far.
What just happened too with the whole shooting, it
unsettling.
feels a little bit more fragile too. The whole system of America feels a little bit more fragile.
Yeah, so it's not a place that we want to venture off into, and that's part of the value in being in Canada, is that you can go off and venture into other parts of North America, but it's not really what we want to do right now. And so therefore I think we want to turn our backyard more into like Taiwan or maybe Japan right now, or stuff of that nature. Still, like, well valued.
It
has its own problems,
for sure,
but it does feel like better value, I think, especially Japan. Right, it's one of our favorite places to visit. We can stay there 3 months of the year without having much issue, and so
Korea 6 months for anyone that's Canadian, and everywhere else is like 1 to 2 months.
Yeah, and I think the last thing to mention is that I think we've also come to realize that like we are renting a house right now, and if we were even to consider buying a home, it would be ridiculous for the cost of even thinking about buying a home in Vancouver. Getting on a 25-year mortgage here would pretty much just, we'd be on the wheel every day, just basically working to pay off this house, right? And then we wouldn't even have much time to really be in it, because we'd be so busy trying to pay it off and keep up with the bills and all this pressure to do it. So we think also, I am a dual citizen, so I do have that for Philippines, so we are thinking about actually buying a property there and trying to actually create a means to an end to what we're trying to do. It's not something we want to stay on forever. We want to pay something off, and hopefully that's something that we accomplish, but right now it's still a bit of a distant thing.
We don't have a lot saved up. We have just a decent amount that we can maybe make it work.
The leap, basically.
Yeah, make the leap. Like, we don't even know, like, we still have to figure out like our own income online, because we're kind of starting from scratch after leaving everything, but we're hoping that things are going to work out, and everything we have learned that transfer into something new.
Yeah, but I do think we value time with our family, and I think experiences and just freedom. I think overall, just not being kind of tied to something or somewhere, or helping pay off someone else's mortgage or something. We just want to focus more on ourselves and how we can kind of make ourselves happy and feel like there is a means to an end and live more fully.
You don't feel like we're just working to just like keep our house and
keep our head above water, just scratch by.
Yeah, and then just like having to do, like, just cannot do anything, doing any kind of activity or just go anything like that. It just feels it's gonna set you back for the whole month, basically.
Yeah.
And over there, it's only gonna, like, it's just a little trickle for us.
I think.
Much
I hope,
smaller.
Yeah.
It'll be much better.
Inflation has hit the world, but I think it's still more manageable, especially if you're making in higher dollars, to bring it over there and actually be able to do something with yourself. So
definitely.
It's definitely more appealing right now for us.
And there's different levels too. You can start like low, or you can like start.
Yeah, absolutely. Depending on your level of comfortability, the quality of food you buy, type of accommodation, the build, everything, right? So it just all factors in.
Yeah, there's different qualities of life for everybody.
Yeah, but we built slowly here, and it took us a gradual amount of time, and eventually it was the same thing here. So we just got to start it over there. It's something, it's like a skill, right? And you just bring it and you do it, and then you we'll manage, I think. It's just, it's daunting. Honestly, taking the leap. We've lived in Philippines for a while before, but it's still daunting nonetheless. But
because now we're bringing a kid, and then honestly, our standard of living has changed since we were on 2 backpacks.
That's true.
So we're going there with like maybe like 6 boxes. I'm gonna ship over a few more just to make sure we actually have like a home and life and everything there. Yeah, especially with the kid, it's you want to make sure that like she feels at home. And
yeah, so we've been like thrifting for the last couple of years, accumulating things that we think are important or that would fit the quality of life we're looking for, and now we're kind of just putting it all into boxes and bringing it with us, basically. I know.
So it's not as like
hard to find or come by or as expensive.
It's just hard to find that kind of stuff.
Absolutely, and it's way more money too. So it has its trade-offs in its own way. Like I said, it's nowhere is perfect, right? But for us, this seems to fit right now. Yes, right now.
Considering that we, as of right now, with the skills we have, we don't really need to be in this city to make the money we want to make, and we don't even have to make as much money too.
I agree.
At least to get us started, to have the same amount of time and everything back.
That's very true. Yeah. You can be more free at a cheaper cost for sure.
Yeah.
Anyways, just wanted to kind of touch base. I think from here on out we'll start recording here and there, right? Trying to showcase kind of what this transition looks like, because we don't really know what we're doing. Honestly, we've done similar things, but at the end of the day, it is daunting, but we just think on the other side of it is something great. And so we want to just strive to see what that looks like and hope for the best.
Yeah, and just give you guys some context, it's September, maybe the 15th right now-ish. And we're out of our lease around November, and we don't know what happens after that. Yeah, we don't know what.
But we will take you guys on this journey with us, and hopefully we make the right choices. But regardless, we just kind of want to share with you what that looks like for us. Right? Yeah. Okay, anyways, we'll see you guys in the next one, where we're probably packing boxes or something. I don't know. Okay, bye guys.
Bye.